The biggest trade in NBA history just happened, and I'm going to try and break it down. My name is RTYR, and if you like this video, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. I'm trying to reach 10K subscribers by my 21st birthday, which is in May. So if you want to be a part of that, I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to skip to a certain team, I have left timestamps down below for each team discussed in this video. Without further ado, let's get into this trade. When a big trade happens in the NBA, especially one of this magnitude, there's usually a third team involved to be kind of like a mediator. In this case, it is the Utah Jazz. I find it kind of ironic that the Utah Jazz are playing the John Stockton role and being the facilitator of this trade, but I digress. The Jazz received Jalen Hood-Schifino and two 2025 second-round picks, one from the Los Angeles Clippers and one from the Mavericks. Funny enough, I think they made out of this trade better than a team we're going to talk about later in this video. Now, not to say they got a steal in this trade, their second-round picks will probably not amount to much. The Clippers pick will probably be a late second round pick, and even the Mavericks pick will be like a mid to late second round pick. It's not impossible for the Jazz to find their next Nikola Jokic, but is extremely unlikely. Nikola Jokic is a 1 in a million type of player. The best part of the deal for the Jazz is that they get another young guard to add to their ranks and hopefully develop him behind guys like Jordan Clarkson and Patty Mills, although they do have a ton of young guards now. Some that will be playing the same position as Schifino. Guys like Colin Sexton, Johnny Juzang, Cody Williams. It kind of just seems like the Jazz are throwing shit at the wall and seeing which guard sticks for them and develops. I'll give this trade a B- for the Jazz. They didn't really lose anything, and they got a player and 2 picks out of it, so they could have gotten nothing, and it would have been fucking better than what the Mavs did.
This is the greatest day of my life!
I've seen some people say that the Lakers got this trade done for LeBron because he's going to retire soon, and I kind of have to disagree with that. I think no matter what, LeBron was probably going to retire after this season or next season because he's done everything. Like, what else does he need to do? He's broken Kareem's record. He's played with his son. He's won multiple MVPs. He won a championship for Cleveland. There is not much left, personally, I think, for him in the NBA. But now, the Lakers have been absolutely fucking gifted by the basketball gods, and Luka Doncic has fallen into their lap. They didn't even have to give up that much in terms of depth. I mean, sure, they had to trade Anthony Davis and package Max Christie into this deal, but that's literally it. On top of not losing much depth, they gained 2 front court depth pieces in Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. Now, those two will probably ride the bench a lot, but it's still depth at a position where you just traded away a star player that filled it. The only fault I can give the Lakers is the defense they're going to miss out on. There's not many people on the roster that fill the Anthony Davis defensive spot. I mean, Jackson Hayes is good defensively, but he's not Anthony Davis. All that means so little compared to the new face of the franchise, Luka fucking Doncic. This is a home run trade for the Lakers because when LeBron does eventually retire, they will now have their leader for the future. Luka Doncic is 25, soon to be 26. He has at least 6 or 7 years of prime basketball left. And I say at least because with his play style and shooting ability, he could be a top 5 player for 10 or 12 years. And the Lakers got him basically for free. The Lakers will have to fulfill his Supermax contract, which Luka does want, and the Lakers have that kind of money. They're going to do that. As a Warriors fan, this makes me so pissed because I know for Golden State or literally any other team, they would have had to at least give up more than 1 first-round pick for a star like this. Rudy Gobert was traded for more first-round picks than Luka Doncic. Rudy fucking Gobert. If this team doesn't at least make a run for the Western Conference Finals, something has gone tragically wrong. I have to give this trade an A+ for the Lakers. Also, make sure to tune in to the NBA on February 25th because the Lakers go into Los Angeles, and I know Luka is going to drop 50 on those motherfuckers.
What the fuck?
So picture this. I'm sitting at a bar last night, enjoying my night trying to play this trivia game they offer at the bar. My friend leans over, just tells me to look at the notification, and I yell, "What the fuck?" at the top of my lungs. I'm scrolling through Twitter, trying to find Shams to make sure this shit is real. I find Shams' tweet, and I sit in my bar stool completely dumbfounded by what I'm reading. This has got to be not just the worst Mavericks decision ever, but one of the worst NBA decisions ever made. How the fuck do you even trade Luka Doncic? You just got to the finals with this guy and brought back nearly the same roster with the addition of an all-time shooter Klay Thompson, and it only takes you 5 months to blow it up? Who in their right mind watches Luka do this.
Against Josh Richardson, left side of the floor. Luka's three is a ring.
Dončić pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Dončić wins the game at the buzzer!
And decides, nah, give me Anthony Davis instead. Are you high? If Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, isn't fired after this year, I have no hope for this Mavericks organization post Mark Cuban. But it all makes sense. Look at who the new owner of the Mavericks is. She's a fucking tool anyway. The whole front office is tools. Nico Harrison is the infamous guy who couldn't pronounce Steph Curry's name right back in 2014 when they were signing a new shoe deal. He called him Seth. I have seen Nico Harrison pull out every excuse possible to explain why he thought this trade was good for the Mavericks, and none of them make sense. First, it started with they were worried about his conditioning. I don't care if he's doing crack and he's 350 pounds. He will still put up 35 on a good night. Then they try to blame it on trying to avoid paying Luka a supermax contract this upcoming offseason. This is a generational basketball player. You pay that motherfucker every time. The Mavericks are even the ones that approached the Lakers to see if they wanted Luka Doncic, not the other way around. It is honestly so hard for me to even come up with professional thoughts on this trade because it is so ridiculous to me. Luka didn't even request the trade. The Mavericks did this on their own accord. Okay, so you get Anthony Davis, who is a great player, but he's 31 going on 32 with a lengthy injury history. He's not going to be here for as long as Luka could have been. You also get Max Christie and a 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. If Luka is still on the Lakers in 2029, that first-round pick isn't going to be worth shit. What is the plan? You already had good team chemistry with Luka and Kyrie. Now you have to make this work with Anthony Davis and Kyrie and try to, win a championship? You're still in the 8th seed right now. How good do you think AD is? Not to diss Anthony Davis, but it's going to be hard competing against the younger teams in the West that are at the top of the grid. By the time that 2029 pick comes around, AD and Kyrie might be gone. Kyrie has a player option for next year. He might go to the Lakers. I'm giving the Mavericks a D- for this trade. In 3 years, the older guys are probably going to be gone, and you're back in a rebuild because you avoided paying Luka the supermax next offseason. Here are the grades I've given for each team. This is just my opinion. Please don't be upset if I gave your favorite team a grade you didn't like. At the end of the day, I'm just a random guy with opinions. If you enjoyed this video or my opinions, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a ton. And of course, thank you for watching.